wiping out entire neighborhoods in some areas. Rescue workers have been struggling to find survivors in the darkness as they try to dig through the rubble of ruined buildings, and forecasters have issued severe thunderstorm warnings. Basketball players from the NBA's Los Angeles Clippers have staged a protest against racist comments allegedly made by the team's owner. It's alleged that Donald Sterling was caught on tape telling a woman not to promote her association with black people and not to bring them to games. Melissa Chan reports.
The protest took place before the game, with players wearing inside-out warm-up jerseys so that the Los Angeles Clippers logo could not be seen. Fans at Sunday's game against the Golden State Warriors expressed shock at the statements allegedly made by Clippers owner Donald Sterling.
To me personally, he sounds ridiculous. He owns a basketball team with nothing but African-American players, so, you know, that kind of made him sound like a racist.
I love the game. I'm an NBA fan. I'm a sports fan, and I support my team like I have for the longest time. And whatever he said is his own personal thing. It's not ours, so we love our Clippers.
The issue goes beyond basketball, with President Obama commenting at his press conference halfway around the world during his visit to Malaysia.
When ignorant folks want to advertise their ignorance, you don't really have to do anything, you just let them talk, and that's what happened here.
The audio that's now gone viral has renewed the debate about America and racism.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. You don't have to. Don't put them on an event for the world has to see, so they have to call me. And don't bring them into my games.
LeBron James, one of the biggest names in the game, is calling on new NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to take a firm stand against any bigotry.
There's no room for that in our game. We've found a way to make this the greatest game in the world, and for comments like that, it taints our game, and we can't have that. Can't have it from a player, we can't have it from an owner, we can't have it from a fan.
Silver has promised swift action, but the NBA investigation could be complex. The voice from the recording has to be authenticated as Sterling, and there may be an issue about how it was obtained. The Players Association is already asking to be included in any decisions about the team owner.
We are collectively one family, and I am confident that this family will speak together in one voice. There's absolutely no place in the NBA family for ignorance, intolerance, reprehensible comments that are unacceptable and not fitting for what this league is all about.
As for the team itself, Clippers coach Doc Rivers feels its best move is just to move on as one.
I think the biggest statement we can make as men, not as black men, as men, is to stick together and show how strong we are of a group, not splinter, not walk, it's easy to protest. The protest will be in our play.
The team was certainly hoping for a different outcome in this game. The Clippers took a pummeling on Sunday, losing by double digits.
Sterling's alleged comments may shock many, but some say this is nothing new and has been going on for years. The question in the coming days will likely be why his behavior has been ignored for so long. Melissa Chan, Al Jazeera, Oakland, California.
Well, you can always keep up to date with that particular story by Melissa Chan, as well as all the other day's top stories by going to our website. It's all at aljazeera.com. The top stories on Al Jazeera. A court in Egypt has sentenced 683 people to death in a mass trial, including the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, Mohammed Badia. The same court also reversed 492 death sentences out of 529 it passed in March, with most of them now sentenced to life in prison instead. South Sudan's government is expected to resume peace talks with rebels. They're due to be held in Addis Ababa, the capital of neighboring Ethiopia. Negotiations have failed to advance since the signing of a ceasefire in January that never took hold. U.S. President Barack Obama has been meeting with President Benigno Aquino in the Philippines on the final stage of his tour of Asia. The two countries have finalized a 10-year defense deal allowing a larger U.S. military presence. Obama also made comments on placing more sanctions against Russia over Ukraine.
We are going to be moving forward with an expanded list of individuals and companies that will be affected by sanctions. They remain targeted. We will also focus on some areas of high-tech defense exports to Russia that we don't think are appropriate to be exporting in this kind of climate.
Members of the European Union are also expected to meet later to decide on further sanctions against Russia. In the eastern city of Sloviansk, pro-Russia gunmen have paraded 3 Ukrainian intelligence officers they are holding captive. On Sunday, 8 European observers were taken hostage by pro-Russian separatists. The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has warned that Israel risks becoming an apartheid state. That's unless a two-state solution is reached with the Palestinians. He made the comments at a closed-door meeting with international officials. The death toll in Saudi Arabia from the Middle East respiratory syndrome, also known as MERS, has now passed 100. Medical officials identified 8 new cases, including a child, and that brings the total number of deaths to 102 since the virus was first identified in 2012. There is no known vaccine to the virus. You're up to date with the headlines. It's Techno next.
Connecting people from every corner of the globe, tapping into the most vital stories on social media. The stream reaches out to online communities around the world, talking to real people about what matters to them. We share alternative views on the most compelling issues of the day. Get involved. Join the stream at this time on Al Jazeera.
Hello and welcome. I'm Phil Torres, and I'm here to talk about innovations that can change lives. We're going to explore the intersection of hardware and humanity, and we're doing it in a unique way. This is a show about science by scientists. Let's check out our team of hardcore nerds. Lindsay Moran is an ex-CIA agent and an analyst. She was undercover, and now she's taken us to New York City, where some of the toughest traffic and drivers put the electric taxi to the ultimate test. Costa Gramatis is an engineer who designed a bionic eye. He takes us to Colorado to meet a young man who invented a 3D printed robotic hand. And boy, is it changing lives. And I'm Phil Torres. I'm an entomologist. I've seen a lot of amazing things in the field, but this one is really cool. The innovation that keeps the heart beating outside of the body. That's our team. Now let's do some science. All right, guys, we're back here at Techno for another week of amazing stories in science and innovation. I'm going to get us started with this thing called a heart in a box. Ooh, check it out. This is an actual beating heart outside of the body. This is seriously the most amazing thing I've ever seen and touched. Let's check out the story. When it comes to heart transplants, it's always a race against time. We've all seen it on TV. When a donor heart becomes available, medical teams must move quickly. The organ is removed and preserved by placing it in ice. The heart must arrive at the recipient's hospital within 6 hours. That's because over time, the ice gradually damages the heart, potentially making it unfit for transplant. But a new medical device actually keeps hearts warm and beating during transport. This could be a major breakthrough in transplant history. The first human heart transplant took place in a hospital in South Africa in 1967. Since then, it's become a fairly routine procedure, with about 5,000 of them happening every year, 2,000 here in the United States. While there have been many significant advances in the techniques and technology used, there's one aspect of the process that has pretty much remained the same. Yep. Getting the heart from point A to point B still involves putting it in a cooler full of ice. Here at the UCLA Medical Center, they're testing out a new device that will revolutionize how organs get transported and make a cooler a thing of the past, at least for organ transport. The machine is called the Organ Care System, and it could double the amount of time a heart can remain outside of a body.
A human organ has never been kept alive outside of a human body until this machine became a clinical reality.
Dr. Abbas Ardahali is the head of UCLA's heart and lung transplant program.
It makes intuitive sense to a layperson to say, instead of having my heart on ice, I want it to be warm. I want it to be beating.
For some of his patients, like 44-year-old Sandra Aguilar, this clinical trial isn't just an opportunity to test a cool new device. It's a second chance at life.
Tú eres mi vida.
También ustedes, hijo, tú sabes que tú, tu hermana, son mi pedazo de corazón y de mi vida. Y que si en este mundo estoy luchando es por mi vida, es por ustedes dos. Tú lo sabes mucho.
She suffers from a debilitating condition called cardiomyopathy and has been waiting for a heart since last December.
Eso es para usted.
Gracias. Gracias.
¿Cómo ha afectado su vida esta condición del corazón?
Mucho. Mucho. He dejado, pues mi vida, se puede decir, ha cambiado al 100%. Ya no pude trabajar, ya no pude estar con mis hijos, ya no pude salir, ya no pude apreciar lo que hacen en la escuela.
Sandra decided to participate in the study, which is designed to compare the outcomes of patients who receive hearts through the organ care system against patients who get their hearts transported on ice.
The patients that you were talking to participate in this trial using the organ care system, how have they responded to that? Once they fully understand the concept, they say, so